Well, joining us now for more on this is Mr. M Vasudev, who's the former Economics Affairs Secretary. Very good morning, and thank you so much for joining us on NDTV. Now, of course, the government is at this point in time trying to look at the various options. The government, we know, is extremely rattled by what's really happened at Satyam. But do you think that the government at this point in time should in fact step in, despite the fact that at this point in time it's so unclear whether any of the documents that Satyam really has are in fact real?
I don't think that it is possible to comment on what the government is thinking at this stage because the full facts are not known. But it certainly would be very unusual for the government from the exchequer to try to bail out a private company. It has never happened in the past. And there are a lot of moral hazards which will go with this type of operation if it does actually materialize. Having said that, I think the Satyam case today is in some sort of an ICU, and this cannot continue for very long, and things have to go back to normal, and the normal system under which corporates operate under the company law, accountability to the shareholders and things of that type, that has to come in place. So the government's role, as far as I can see it, is a very short-term ICU type of an operation, and any long-term bailout from the exchequer for the company seems very unlikely and maybe undesirable also to me.
I would like to ask you, you say that it is undesirable. Why do you think so?
Well, because of the moral hazard questions that it will raise, and this is not an issue. There are companies which have gone under for various reasons in the past and maybe will continue. That is what happens in a free market economy. Companies may go down for good reasons, may go down for bad reasons. And therefore, the moral hazard which goes with government trying to bail out selectively, I think something which is very important.
Right, Mr. Vasudev, do you really feel that also at this point that the role of regulators really needs to be strengthened, that they should in fact play a bigger role in trying to resolve the crisis that's at hand?
I think this Satyam episode is raising very fundamental issues concerning the framework that we have for corporate governance. The main pillars for corporate governance that we have in India today is certainly not fulfilling its desired role. The audit role is very critical to the whole setup. The audit system is currently self-regulated through the ICAI. They set the rules for audit themselves and then they operate the rules. So this regulator-operator conflict is very much there in this system. And also the accountability of the auditors is again to a self-regulated organization like an ICAI. I think we have to move away from that and make some independent regulator for the audit instead of having self-regulation in that area. The second important area I feel is independent directors. Here again, though in name it is independent, but in practice in most companies what my experience is that independent directors are selected by the management and they are there for years and decades. So if a director remains on the board of a company for a decade, how can he continue to remain independent for that long? At least in the banking side, in the financial sector side, the RBI has a check to see that independent director is fit and proper for doing his task. We don't have any such system in a corporate sector as a whole. And third, more importantly, I think, who is responsible for corporate governance in India? Is it SEBI, which says it is for listed companies? Is it the company or the corporate affairs department now which regulates through the Company Law Act? Who is responsible for corporate governance? I think there is a lot of turf issue going on between SEBI and Corporate Affairs Department in this area.